Guys, welcome back to the Two Brits, One Yank podcast. Now, this is episode 21. We've decided today to do a Q&A episode for you lot. Seeing as, you know, the channel's getting bigger, we thought, why not do part two? The boys have been an absolute nightmare in the background. I can see them. They're pulling all sorts of faces, which is trying to put me off. But I've come in clutch, baby. Take one, and it's gone well, innit?
You've done very well there. I'm very impressed.
What are you
doing?
Why are you doing that?
Well, it's so cool because you can make faces and no one can see. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Messing around.
I know. What were you saying? How are we, boys?
Yeah, chilling, man. Very good.
Yeah, bro, good.
Season started.
Yeah.
Looking forward to. Obviously, you didn't get the result we wanted. Lost 1-0 away to Warren Wood, but 45 more games to go. So
there we go, bro.
Marathon, not a sprint. Connor, how are you?
How was the game in general? How was it? What was the atmosphere like?
Atmosphere was all right. They don't get the most fans down there. We had quite a few travel, to be fair.
Right.
But we were just getting popped. They were keeping the ball like no tomorrow. And we had a few injuries. A few people couldn't play. And then, fortunately, one of my boys, Zach Smith, had quite a bad injury to his knee. So hopefully he's all right. But we were backs against the wall, like playing wing backs that were like two out-and-out wingers, like trying to counter. But we held off for 82 minutes, and then I think their quality and probably they just came out on top in the end. They probably deserved to get something, but the way we defended like so resolutely, our keeper was on fire. We probably were quite unlucky not to at least get a point, but that is football. 45 more games to go, as I said. So yeah, I'm sure hopefully we'll pick up some points at some point in the near future.
There you go, brother. Connor, how you been?
Yeah, good, boys. First week back in proper training, and yeah, it's feeling good. The first 2 days I was a bit rusty, but it was good to be out there. And then the last 2 nights have been really good, starting to feel a lot more like myself. And, you know, obviously excited to get back over to England. So yeah, I think I'm going to book my flight 2 weeks from now. And yeah, I'll do 3 weeks of proper training over here and should be there in early September.
Oh, I can't wait for the link up, boys.
I know.
It's been too long.
It's going to be so strange. It's going to be so strange.
I know. Tops has got all the equipment as well. I hope he hasn't put that on eBay or anything, but we should be we should be sweet.
He's probably using it for all his own content, let's be honest.
Thanks. He actually texted me last week, a couple of weeks back, asking if he could use the mics. I still haven't forgotten about that TikTok thing. He's not getting them.
Wait, how did he do the mic'd up in the Sunday League?
He didn't. He just used audio from the phone, I presume.
I don't know about that one, Boney. I'm pretty sure
he has mics on.
Does he?
Yeah, 100% he has mic. How can you hear him so clearly?
There's no way that you thought you could only hear Tops on that pitch and no one else.
Oh no! I hope he hasn't hit up Auntie Debs and she's given them to him. Oh no!
Bonnie, how have you watched that video and not realized he was using the mics?
Bro, because I record, you know, that time when I recorded for him, the audio was so clear, like genuine. The audio was so clear, you can only hear him really.
He's using
to
mics.
Be fair, he did say to me he was going to get some, but then he texted me last week asking if he could use mine. So I don't know. Maybe he has got them.
And what did you say to him?
I said absolutely no. I said no chance. I said, brother, do you think I forgot what you did to us? No way are you getting those mics.
You'll be your own brothers, man. You'll be
your own brothers.
Anyway,
right, Connor, yeah, good, man. Look, obviously, it wasn't ideal last week, but do you know what I mean? You move on. I've been in football long enough to know that it changes very quickly. So that's it. Just focus on the next game and looking forward to what's coming.
Yeah, it's the right attitude to have. I remember when I first came over, when we had a loss like in the beginning of the season, like I was beating myself up, and because obviously I'd only played in shorter seasons, and you're like, it's such a long season. You're very good at like compartmentalizing like one single game and then moving on to the next. And I think you have to be, especially in obviously the Irish League's a bit shorter, but 46, 34, whatever it is, like in a long season, you have to just be able to put things in the past and move on.
There we go, my brother. That's it. That's it. And I think that just comes with maturity and playing in X amount of league games now. That's my mentality. You know, perhaps maybe 2-3 years ago I would have beaten myself up and I would have put myself in a bad sort of mindset. But like I said to you, it's literally right, next game, let's get it. So that's my mindset at the moment. Like,
Damn, bro's now an experienced pro.
I know, and it is crazy how quick time flies. I'm 26 next week.
8 days to the birthday, isn't it? Yeah.
My boy knows my birthday date as well. That's too cold.
Come on.
No, bro, it's crazy. Now I'm training with all these 18-year-olds, like my old academy, just to game fitness. And they're like, one of the kid goes, wait, how old are you? Because he thought I was trying out. I was like, no, I'm in 99. He goes, are you 28? I was like, first off, you got to work on your math. That's really bad. But second off, these kids are saying they're 06s, 07s. I'm like, oh my God, we're old. I feel like it was like last week.
That's what I mean. And go on.
Yeah, I feel like last week I was a U19.
Yeah.
Now I'm an under 26.
U19. Bro said U19.
Bro called himself an under 26.
Connor, you got to sort the lingo out for when you come back, bro.
Oh, it's so bad. If I drop soccer over there, anyone in England has permission to slap me right away.
Facts.
Oh my God, boys. Oh my God, we've got to talk about Levi. We've got to talk about Levi and the goal for Bromley. History. Bromley's first ever game in the EFL Cup, and our Levi Amanchi scored.
What a finish it was as well.
Unbelievable finish, and then straight into the advertising board as always. Boom, kicking it. He's so angry, isn't he? He's so angry.
Why did he does that all the time? He kicks the advertising boards. Sorry.
It's probably one of the best moments in his career, and he's mad.
Like, did he drop a stinker before that or something? Or I don't know.
It was in the first half, so I mean, it couldn't have been that bad.
Is it like 15 minutes in, wasn't it? 15, 20 minutes in?
Yeah, I mean, unless he was absolutely honking for the first 14 minutes, which, I mean, it's pretty hard to do that poorly in the first 15.
It is possible.
Yeah, but as a striker,
I've been there before. It's possible.
I mean, as a striker, it's a bit harder to have a really poor first 15 minutes. I mean, listen, as a center back, you give away 2 goals in the first 15 minutes and be walking on eggshells for the next 75.
No, facts.
But yeah, he's killing it. And hey, I want to give do you see who the US national team just hired, boys?
Yes, I was supposed to text you. I completely forgot. I said you're buzzing.
Bro, I'm so happy. So I saw on Twitter, someone was like, Todd Bowley took over Chelsea to get the men's and the women's coach to go coach the US. Emma Hayes now being the women's manager. Like, I'm over the moon. I would have liked it to happen in 2022, so you could have had a 4-year cycle with Poch, but you know, he has 2 years. Hopefully, it's not that many games. It feels like a long time, but it's actually not that many games for the World Cup. But hopefully, he can implement his style. I think he did a really good job with Chelsea's young core. The national team right now is quite a young core, so hopefully he does well. And I think, being that it's at home, we should aim to make the quarterfinal. That would be
no more NFL
a massive success.
No more NFL lingo in the change room, I guess. No more red zone, end zone, all this sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Straight to classic football terms from Poch. That's what we like. We'd like to hear.
But he's a class man. And you know what? I wasn't, just because his connection at Spurs and the fact that he didn't win the league that one year with PSG, I wasn't entirely sure with him coming to Chelsea, and I was really upset to see him go in the end. I thought he did a really good job, especially from Christmas onwards. And yeah, I mean, obviously Enzo Maresca is now in, so hopefully he'll do well. But yeah, I'm very happy Poch will be involved with the US.
What about Cole Palmer's 9-year deal as well? 9 years, seeing.
Bro, sorry, what about Wan-Bissaka signing a 7-year deal?
It's crazy what's going on.
Hey, yeah. 15 million pounds for Wan-Bissaka. I know he's not the best going forward. He's a great defender.
How long did he have left on his deal, though? He didn't have long left on his deal, did he?
Was it just the year?
I think it might be the end of the year, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that would make a bit more sense.
Yeah, and he wasn't really playing as much as he probably wanted to, unless when Luke Shaw was injured, Dallo was playing on the left. But still, I think it's a great signing for West Ham. West Ham have done some really
Great
good
sign.
business. Some really good business. They got a
Yeah.
Fulkrug, whatever his name is. They got Somerville come through the door. I think they might
And
have paid a little bit for Max Kilman, but English tax, I guess. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, I
have we
think
have we spoken about the fact Maidenhead only got 5 mil for that?
Only.
Well, compared to the 8 mil that they should have got.
Well, I think they ended up. I saw their chairman tweeted something, didn't he? Or put out a statement saying basically like there was never an official like, agreement, or they could then. I think in his contract was like 20%, but if it became a massive fee, they'd be able to go and talk and discuss it. So they basically settled
Right.
5 million. Like Maidenhead were happy with 5 million, as you would
Right.
be.
Well, of course, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Hopefully, sort their ground out, sort their pitch out, because
Yeah.
it's an absolute dive. I hate going.
Yeah, that place was didn't enjoy going there when I was with Maidstone. Oof.
Hate going there. And we lost 2-0 as well. Emil Aqua.
Exactly. But before we get into the questions, and now my boys flexing that Chelsea top. What's on the back, Connor?
we got well, Eden Hazard 17, the old number.
Show us
Yeah.
then.
Well, it's hard. I mean, bro, it's hard. My phone's here. Here, I'll give you a little one of those. I
Damn,
don't know
she
if you
looks
can
good
see
from the
that.
back. Damn, she looks good from the back.
That's what. That is number one reason why I was not getting up. I didn't want you to see my pancake behind. The boys got no glutes, bro. I've been doing squats all summer to try to get more explosive. Nothing's gonna help, bro. It's a lost cause.
Those slow twitch muscle fibers, man. Just keep on plodding, brother. Keep on plodding.
Only slow twitch, no fast twitch.
Right, should we get into it then, Con?
Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, so we're doing a little Q&A. It's a bit hard now because we're not in person, so we can't read off the phone. So I had to, just because I always take this pot on my back, I had to write out like every question. I'm just seeing the face the boys are making. I didn't know if you guys are going to catch that or not, but Soul's just sitting there fuming, considering
Yeah,
he
I would
does
be as well. I would be as well.
But yeah, so I've written out all the questions. I think we've selected about 9 questions that we'll go through, and yeah, that'll be the episode.
Awesome.
All right, so the first one is from someone quite near and dear to this podcast, a former teammate of all of ours, Perry Iandolo. He's ask Boney if that was the best headbutt he's ever seen.
Boy, I didn't think you was going to rattle this question first, but you anyway, I linked up with Perry the other day. His missus is here for the year, and
wait, she's in Dublin.
Anyway, but
she's in Dublin for the year.
Yeah, she's. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's something to do with work anyway, where she takes a year out of work to come and study. I don't know what it is. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and say something wrong here, but anyway, the missus is here, and I linked up with Perry. Anyway, we're walking through Dublin, and literally, boys, I'm not messing about. 10 yards in front of me, this junkie. His shades are on the floor. Now, obviously, you're just minding your own business. But I see him. He gets up. Picks his shades up, walks towards this Indian fella, goes up to him and cracks him with a headbutt straight into his nose. But honestly,
God,
it was one of the maddest things I've seen. And your man's like, oh, nose. Anyway, the junkies then walked off with his other junkie friends, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Your man's nose is busted open, bleeding everywhere. There was no police in the area as well, so your man just got away with it and just walked off. But me, Perry, and his missus were like, what the hell is going on here? Genuine.
And did the guy who got headbutted, he didn't see it coming like whatsoever?
No, I think it could have been where they accidentally bumped into each other, and honestly, your man didn't see it coming because he just stood there, and obviously the junkie got in his face, cracked him with a headbutt, and that was it then. He caught him so clean that your man couldn't do anything back. He was just holding his nose, and everyone was checking if he was all right. But one of the maddest things I've seen. I swear to God. Honestly, it was crazy. But yeah, that's the answer to the question. Absolute madness.
Yeah, we didn't know that. I remember when that came in, I was like, I don't know if that's some like dirty inside joke. So I had to clear that question before asking it on the podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna message you boys and tell you, but I completely forgot. But you're one of the maddest things I've seen. Just literally went up to him, crack, see you later, and that was it.
All right, so the next one is also from someone quite near and dear to this podcast. The great Nailsy People has asked, "Is Connor growing his hair? It certainly looks better. I thought you'd never notice."
By the way, if
And
people don't know, that is my nan. That is my nan. Oh, that is my nan who runs the local paper and like the local Facebook forum basically, and she's using that account just to spam us. And she's been given, to be fair, earlier on the pod in the pod's lifespan, she was really on you too. So that's quite nice for you to get a compliment. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
and well, listen to this. And has Sam passed his driving test?
I spoke too soon. I spoke far too soon.
No, she's very underhanded. Like she'll give a compliment and right away she'll get you right back.
She's clever. Hey, she's a journalist, bro. She's a journalist.
Yeah, they're different.
She knows what she's doing.
I was hoping that question would never come up, or even in talk. I was hoping you boys wouldn't bring that up until the day I passed. But anyway, for Sol's nan, I've obviously had to put it on the back foot at the minute. I was going to start driving here, but then I just thought, in fairness to Greg, my instructor, he said, "Oh, I really want to get the picture with you when you pass." So I said, "Look," I said, "when I'm back for the off season."
Wait,
I swear to God,
you're not passing your driving test or trying to because your driving instructor wants a photo of you so bad, and you're saying, "You know
yes,
what? That is respect." You must.
they're facts, bro. And he's even asked for a Shelburne top with bone on the back. Can you believe it?
That is sick.
So I can imagine when I do eventually pass, he's gonna have the top on and stuff. But yeah, I put it on the back foot, and then obviously when I go back in the off season, I'll follow that up and have a test booked for within the first week of me being back, and then hopefully that's it. Then I'll be driving eventually. 25 years of age, still haven't got a car. It's slightly embarrassing, bro. We moved.
26.
26 and 8
Oh
days,
my
brother.
God, damn. That's even
My
crazier.
brother's gonna be an under 27 and not be able to drive. That's crazy.
You 27?
Honestly, to be fair though, I've missed it. I have missed it now. I've missed driving in the car, to be honest. And the boys have got automatics here, so they said they're going to take me out and park up in the evenings when the car parks are free. But other than that, like I said, when I go back, I'll get it all sorted. Hopefully.
I bet you Greg's wearing his Maidstone gilet. The 22.
No, yeah, I bet you he is. But then again, he was so devastated when we all got released. I don't think he's too keen on the club anymore. Genuine.
Really?
He's a Joe's fan now.
Thanks.
Him and Ben Fuller.
Yeah, actually, in fact, talking to Jills, sorry, we're going away from it, but you see Bradley Dack signed.
Yeah.
Good signing. I didn't see that. Wow, that's a big signing for them.
Very big signing.
Very good signing. Yeah.
Obviously, like he's had real bad injury trouble, but he's a class footballer.
Yeah, especially
they think even fit. They think even fit. They should go up now. Like.
Yeah. Wow. When that happened today?
No, 2 days ago.
Oh wow, I missed it.
Yeah.
All right, so we have one here from Rob W 2011. How does playing in Ireland differ from playing for Maidstone?
I guess. Ooh, good question.
Actually, I haven't played in Ireland, so I don't know, mate.
That was just what is it? OCD. He had to say something there.
No, main character syndrome. Main character.
Yes, brother, you hit the nail on the head.
This is getting edited out.
No, to be fair, quite a few people have asked me this as well, but I just think that there's such a different style of play. Like if you look at the English leagues, maybe especially lower down in the English leagues, I think it's a lot more direct. And that can be difficult, obviously, having to win your duels and win headers. And it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like so physical and all, whereas here you have a little bit more time on the ball. A lot of teams try to play out. So I just think that is the main aspect. I think that is pretty much it. The standard of this league, I think a lot of people don't realise in England how good it is. For example, Shamrock Rovers just made Europa Conference League qualifiers, so that just shows you St. Pat's are in the last qualifying round of the Conference League, so competing against some big European teams and they're coming out on top. So that sort of gives people an idea of how good the league actually is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, for context, like, what is it? Shamrock Rovers play PAOK. If they win, they're in Europa League. And what are they, third right now in the Irish League?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, you would think if, say, they make Europa League and the table ended how it is today, they wouldn't finish top 2 in there. Sorry, they wouldn't. Oh,
you sound like you're emotional then. Don't do it.
No, we're gonna have to do a little.
Bro's upset. Damn.
Oh my god, I had cereal this morning. I just came right to my throat. So hey,
Bro's throwing up on the pod.
Speaking of main character syndrome, you better edit this part out.
Nah, he's throwing up on the pod. That's crazy.
But yeah, could you imagine they're in Europe's second biggest competition and they finished third in their domestic league? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, and it helps the league, the coefficiency as well. So it's only, like I said to you back on pod, so I think you remember it. Connor, you wasn't there, but it just helps the league grow and all that sort of stuff. So it's brilliant to see, regardless of who you play for within the league.
Because I saw that, like, the whole league almost comes together and supports each other when they're in it, which is like quite rare. Because if you see, compare it to the Prem, if Chelsea are in Champions League or something, I don't want them to win. I don't want them to go. You know what I mean, whereas it's so different, which I really do respect. So, do you think that the Irish style of football probably suits you more than non-league in England?
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, being comfortable on the ball and stuff, I definitely think this, especially the way we play as well. I think that really suits my style. But then again, it's funny because we had so much joy last year. You boys know it firsthand. We had so much joy last year from going, you know, maybe direct up to Levi, winning second balls and banging on the front foot, and we're attacking the goal. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of people probably sniff their nose up at the directness. What's the word? Damn, we're all doing it today. The directness of the lower leagues, but I think that it has its pros and cons with it as well, you know?
No, definitely.
There we go.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite question just because who's asked it. Nacho Gonzalez has asked, best trash talker you've played against and why?
Go on, Sol.
I don't actually know. I don't actually know the best one I've ever played against.
Because I wrote this down, I had a long, hard think about this, and you boys won't know who this is, but there's this kid I used to play against, John Murphy. I played against him from probably 11 to 18 academy. He was a U.S. international, and he has Irish heritage bony, so he played for Ireland U18s as well, which is quite cool. So I go to college at 18, he goes to a rival school, Clemson, which is one of the really top D1 programs. And we played them in my first match at Duke. We played them in preseason. And going up, we hated each other. You go back and forth. He'd say anything to get in my head. I'd do the same thing back. It actually made me realize that trash talking didn't really work for me because I would focus too much on like the individual battle and not the game. But we'd been talking so much to each other the entire time growing up. And I guess it was like the case of seeing a familiar face. He gets subbed on the pitch at a similar time to me. The guy hugged me on the pitch. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, we've just cursed each other out for the past 6-7 years. And ever since that, we've been pretty friendly. Like, every time I see him, it's nice to catch up. I saw him out a few years ago. He's playing in the USL now, but I would say him growing up. I didn't really have too much in college or in England. I don't really talk too much to other players.
I talk loads to other players, like maybe an obscene amount, but it's not really trash talk. Like, I just have conversations, and then if I know that they're willing to have a conversation with me, I'm thinking they're not really that switched on because I just talk all the time anyway. And sometimes I have to talk to be concentrating in the game.
That is the only time I'll talk. is if people are willing to talk. Like, I would never say anything at this point unless someone's giving me like a terrible tackle or something. I would never say anything really trash talking at this point because it really is only going to hurt you. But yeah, if you can, especially in center mid, if the guy's your friend, maybe he won't press you as hard. You get time to turn, drop your shoulder, hit a nice crossfield pass. It works out for everyone.
There you go.
I have got some stories of some trash talkers that I've heard, but I'm not sure they're actually. I'm not sure they're. I can say them on the pod. I think I could get in a little bit of trouble. And there's some bad things that have been said, but no, I don't think there's been any individuals that really like stand out in my mind that I'm like, damn, he just. Oh no, Barris Altentop, you know, the one who plays for
Braintree.
Oh my God.
He's signed for Larne though in the Northern Irish League.
Yeah, he is the biggest talker you'll play against. Like, he just chats absolute rubbish. And I remember he was chatting absolute rubbish. We played against them for Dartford, and he got dragged off after like 45 minutes because he was so bad. And he was literally the worst player on the pitch. But he's still chatting rubbish whilst he's coming off. Like, he's just...
Hey, that takes a different sort of mentality to do that.
And do you not see when they won the playoff semi-final? He like took his shirt off, holding his shirt off up to the Chelmsford fans and stuff.
Absolutely.
Wasn't he like...
I did see.
Wasn't he like, that's too easy?
Yeah.
It's actually insane that he's doing stuff like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You know what? It just has to, it's personal preference. I think for me, that wouldn't work. But for him, it probably helps him play better overall. Maybe not against Dartford, but it probably helps him, which is why he does it.
Maybe. I'd probably have to say he plays in the league, Pat Holborn. He plays for Derry now, but you know, one of the League of Ireland greats. Was playing for Dundalk when they did the double and stuff a few years back, and like a fantastic League of Ireland career. But we played against Derry a few weeks back, and obviously I know him. I'm friends with him from when I played with him at Dundalk. And before the game, just blanked me. I thought, well, okay, I'm in for a battle here today. You know, doesn't even want to say anything. Bro, first 10 seconds, they've gone direct from the kickoff. Bang. Massive thud into me ribs. Boys, I'm on the floor, winded. Like, he's caught me good. And I thought, right, okay. And he says it wasn't an elbow after, but I'm nearly sure it was. Anyway, I said, right, no bother, get on with it. This is like first versus second. This is a big game. Anyway, my boy, he's trash talking me during the game and all, saying, "You see when they went direct from a goal kick, oh, watch this elbow and stuff." And I just didn't expect that, so I'd probably have to say him. But I think what goes around comes around. So if you're trash talking someone on the pitch, you're going to get it back, and that's not really my game. So I don't really interact with many people. Now I've got loads of stories from boys that I've played with who have said, "Oh, such and such is a nightmare, he talks," but from my experience, I haven't really encountered that other than a few weeks back. But a great battle, and looking forward to the next one because he was trash talking for the whole game. But then afterwards, it's like, you know, gives me a hug and asks me how I am and stuff, and that's just it. You know, you got to respect the mentality that he has. He's in it to win it, and you know, fair play.
All right, so we'll take it here to someone who's really helped out the pod with the big addition of the flag, which obviously we don't have in the background now. It's back in Maidstone, but 2004 Ellis has asked, best fans that you've played under.
Ooh,
I feel like this is a good one for you, Boney, because I think for Sol and I it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah,
I do. I think, I mean, the support that we received there, like a few weeks back in Europe and stuff, and in the league at the minute, I think Shells is phenomenal. You know, to like I said to you on pod there a few weeks back, to travel to Gibraltar and then travel to Switzerland back to back weeks was phenomenal, and the noise they made was insane. But then obviously you've got Maidstone. When we travelled to Coventry, they were incredible, albeit it was that big FA Cup game, but still, like the noise that they made was incredible. Ipswich as well. So I think I can't pick one, but I definitely I would say Shells and Maidstone are definitely up there, and then Shamrock Rovers with the backing that they have now. When I played there when I was younger, it wasn't as big as it is now. Like we used to get maybe 2.5, but now they're some weeks they get 7,000, 8,000. So I think I've been quite fortunate to play with like good fan bases. But obviously in recent times, I think Shells and Maidstone are definitely. I can't say who's better because they both make such good noise when it's going well.
Yeah, I mean, personally, from what I've seen in England, for instance, in our division, I would say the best fans were probably Maidstone and Yeovil, and we were lucky enough to play for Maidstone, right? I mean, am I missing anyone? Like, did anyone else have massive?
Torquay would be really good this year, especially.
Torquay was good, but
they
were quite toxic last year, weren't they?
But I can understand why. Like, it was going so badly for them, bless. And they've probably got nearly 3,000 season ticket holders. Like, they're going to be proper right up there for as far as.
Yeah, I was just going off what we saw last season, but yeah, I saw the highlights for their first match. Who they play, Enfield.
Yeah.
If you didn't tell me what level that was, I would say it looked like a League Two match, maybe League One. Like it looked really good. The stadium's really nice, packed out. Noise was great. It looked like a sick place to play, to be honest. Great for the Enfield boys as well. Like to play your first game in that new division and it be at like one of the biggest clubs, like that's sick.
No, definitely that. But I agree. I think Maidstone fans are unbelievable. Even when I joined Bath, all the boys are asking like, "What's it like playing for Maidstone?" Like the fans are so good, aren't they? The fans are so good. I say, yeah, honestly, like a lot of them are jealous that there isn't a team like that probably in the southwest. Like Bath is a big club. We get a lot of fans still. We get like 1,400, but Maidstone with like nearly 2,000 plus every week. The fans are serious, aren't they? They're serious.
Yeah. What I found crazy about coming over is just the fact that people travel to matches. It's such a foreign concept to me. Like when I was at NC State, for instance, I think one game we played North Carolina and we had maybe 3,000 fans there. But if we went to an away match, let's say at Wake Forest, which is only an hour and a half in the car, you would only actually have parents come. Like that's it. There's no such thing as like away support. And in the MLS as well, it's quite rare. So in 6th Division English football, you have people going all the way from Bath up to Boreham Wood last weekend. Like that's so cool.
But it's crazy that it even happens even lower than that. Like there's even people that used to watch me at Slimbridge come home and away, like go down to Portsmouth, everywhere, and we're a step 4 side. Like it is crazy. It's just the culture. Yeah. The culture's just so different over there.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's what's really drawn me to like stay in England, to be honest, is I wouldn't even say necessarily it's like the quality of football, because as you said, Boney, it can be a bit rougher. I think there's other leagues that are a similar level to National South that play football that would suit me a bit more. But I just love the passion that the fans have and the players as well, because that rubs off on the players. It makes it so intense in training and matches. Like every game that I played felt like a cup final. Especially if we lost, it was devastating. Okay, so we'll move on here to Alexander Nunn 10. So favorite stadium.
My old sponsor.
That's your old sponsor?
Yeah. Lovely family.
Oh, I know us. Well, he's asked our favorite stadium. So how about this? We'll do favorite one we've played in and then favorite one in the world. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
All right, well, you start us off.
Who? Me? I can hear you.
Yeah, you. The only Boney on the podcast.
Yeah, bro, that's why I said I couldn't hear you. I would say now it wasn't packed out, but in Europe, when I was with Shamrock Rovers, we played AIK, and they play in Stockholm in the National Stadium. Now, I can't remember what it's called. Perhaps I should have done my bloody research before, but it was maybe we can put like a picture of it in. I don't know, but that was like 50,000 now. No, my boy said no. Okay, so no more. That was like 50,000, but I think there was only 9,000 at the game, so that was obviously disappointing. Obviously had the chance to play at Zurich Stadium there a few weeks back, which was sick. But I think the main one would be Coventry. That was like we said on Pod, so you're walking out and it is so big. Like it is genuinely mind-boggling how the Bernabeu, for example, is like nearly triple that in attendance, you know. So in capacity, sorry, but I would say Coventry. And then shall I rattle off the best stadium in the world?
Yeah, let's hear it. That you've
I'll
like
tell you
watched the
what,
game at or something.
and this is gonna be very different to you boys, but I saw the other day Boca Juniors Stadium and the atmosphere. Now, I'm not saying it's the best stadium in the world in terms of capacity, but I just think the energy that that place must generate. Like I saw the video and it was bouncing.
No,
You know how
definitely.
you have like a section of fans that sing and make the noise? This stadium was the whole way, sorry, because they don't have a stand on the left side, I believe. But the three other stands, it was bouncing, boys. I'll send you the video, but it was insane. So I think
Watched
that
the
for
game there, have
me,
you? Watched the game there.
that's why I said I saw it on Twitter, bro. That I'm too sharp with it.
Connor,
The actually, Boney, so Duke, the literally 2 months before I went there, they went on a team trip to Argentina and Uruguay, and they watched a match there, and they said it was unbelievable. They had
See, I'm
to.
spitting facts.
There's like a bulletproof like glass between like so the entire stadium's obviously home fans. There's a little section of away fans, and they have bulletproof glass between them.
It's mad, isn't it?
Actually, I don't know if it's bulletproof, but it must be because if it was just glass, you could just smash it and get through.
no,
So it
definitely.
Yeah,
must be
there we
like
go.
it must be some hard glass. But
Definitely.
yeah, I would say for me, well, I didn't play in the match, but I would say the Ipswich Stadium, Portman Road. I loved it. How it's historic. It has a stand named after is it Alf Ramsey and then Bobby Robson as well.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So it has the history. Now they're in the Prem, which is sick, and we have probably my best memory in football from that day. So I'll give it to Portman Road is my favorite that I've played in / been involved in. Well, obviously wasn't playing, but and then I would say it's a tough one. I want to say Stamford Bridge. I love Stamford Bridge, but in the Prem, just for like what it represents, the history and all, I love Goodison Park. I really want to get to a game this year.
Yeah, you always say that. You've always said that, actually.
Loves it, yeah.
I love the history behind it. It's like it's just I feel like the last top flight proper old school footballing ground. And I'm honestly sad that they're leaving the stadium at the end of the season.
You wanted us to draw Everton away in the FA Cup. I remember you saying.
Yeah, I was saying if we didn't draw Chelsea, I would love it to be Everton to go to Goodison. But I thought it was their last year in Goodison this season. So I was going to go to the match against Forest. It was their second to last match. And then I found out they're doing another year in the stadium. So I definitely want to get up to a match, whether it's an FA Cup match. I just want to see the stadium and they have such good support. I really have a ton of respect for those fans.
Yeah, they're sick, man. They're proper scousers, isn't it? The Everton fans.
Yeah.
They're mental.
I went to Chelsea Everton this season, the match that Palmer scored 4 goals in. And these poor guys, it was probably a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. And they've come all the way down from Liverpool. I think it was 4-0 after 30 minutes. And I was sat right next to the away end. And I was in kind of a family section. And these 2 Chelsea fans, like young kids who definitely weren't like locals, were like, oh, you have no trophies to Everton. And some 50-year-old Everton fan lost it, saying like they're tourists. They have no clue about history. And to be fair, he was right. Like Everton have a ton of trophies. But it was so funny.
They're getting rattled by a bunch of kids on a Wednesday night or whatever.
Yeah, think of it. You've had a hard day at work. You've got on the train. you've come all the way down to London getting battered, and then you have like these two 12-year-olds. They could have been, I think they were Australian, like talking to you about football.
No, that set you off the edge, all right.
Yeah. All right, boys, we got two more questions left. So this is again Ellis Roden. He's asked,
Damn, I didn't get to say my stadiums. Damn.
I thought so. Yeah, I did think that.
Damn.
Oh, hey, that's my main character syndrome coming through. So, hey, take it away, brother.
My main character syndrome is rubbing off on you.
Exactly.
I'll be really quick. One of my favorite stadiums ever that I've actually played in is Roots Hall with Southend, which is a bit of a road pick. I know, but it was so old school that I just absolutely loved it. Like, it was actually kind of falling down, but I quite liked it. The best stadium I've watched a game at. My favorite two are actually, I watched a game there on the same day, is Como and the San Siro. Those are the two favorite grounds I've ever watched a game in. Como is just beautiful, like it's crazy. It just looks fake. And then San Siro, one of the greatest football stadiums in the world.
Who did they play against that day?
Inter played against Sassuolo. Like Berardi and stuff.
Oh, that's a good game. Yeah.
That's a really good game.
And Lukaku was on fire. And Lukaku hit the old.
Oh, that's cold.
Right in front of me. And
cold experience, bro.
Yeah, it's mental.
That is such a cool. That's another one that they're going to redevelop. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but that's a stadium I think all football fans want to see a match in.
No, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so so my bad for that. My sidekick character syndrome came through, but so this is Ellis Roden right here. Advice to improve your game off the ball.
Oh, good question. That is a good question. I'd say, see, it's very hard to train that on like doing like training by yourself. I just think maybe there's some really good YouTube videos out there that cover that sort of aspect of football and positioning and stuff. But then also, if you play for a club, I think the best advice is to ask your manager. I don't know if you boys sort of vouch with that, but
I think it definitely depends what sort of things off the ball. If you mean like off the ball as in like pressing and defensive off the ball, then the game is so much easier the fitter you are. And the fit you can get, honestly, you're pressing, you'll be able to do it for longer, you'll feel so much better. Once you have the ball, you'll be able to be relaxed and you won't have to worry about things, and you'll have breath and be able to be conscious and be able to make good decisions. But off the ball, I think you just have to watch people. You just have to watch what they do. See, like, that person, whenever the ball goes wide. Remember Craig Fagan, what she said to me, whenever the ball goes wide, you'll see the best strikers will just go to the back post straight away. Or just start to go to the back, and then they can kind of predict it. It's hard to go near post and come back, rather than when you're coming back, you're going into the box, you can kind of run to it a lot easier. So I think you just have to watch other people do. And obviously, like Boney said, if your manager requires something from you, you kind of have to ask them what they want. I think that's so important, because they might not want you to do something. They might not want you to press. They might want you to press.
Exactly. There's so many.
It's hard for us to advise you when we don't know what you're being advised by other people.
What style of play you're playing, because you can press high, you can press in a mid block. Do you know what I mean? You can sit off the game. So there is so many different ways to be, your positioning and stuff. But I think I think you routed a good point there. So about the fitter you are, the easier it is for you to get around the pitch. I've been in games before where I felt miles off it because I wasn't maybe up to scratch with the sharpness side of it. So I think that's a really good point for sure.
Yeah, I had one of my college coaches actually always used to say fitness is freedom. And I think that's so true. It just gives you the ability to do so much more. It's one of the most, it's so easy to lose and it's so hard to gain back. Obviously having, good technique is really important, but fitness, when you get to the highest levels, is one of the most important things. You could be Lionel Messi technically. And if you're not fit, you're not going to have a huge impact on the game.
Well, you start getting. Sorry, bro. Go on. Carry on.
No, what were you saying?
I was just going to say you get you get mentally fatigued, and that's when I remember we did a lot of sessions with George Elikobie where we'd do like a running session and then we'd do technical after because we were training our brains to still be at that level when we're tired. So I think that's a really good point that we've made is that, like you said, fitness is freedom and it helps you a lot.
Yeah. I would say as well, and I've really fall victim of this, like as someone who loves football so much, I watch a lot of football, but you could get drawn into watching games as entertainment. You follow the ball, it's a really nice way to watch a game. It's more fun. But to really gain positional sense, you almost have to watch people who just don't have the ball. When you see Van Dijk with the ball, for instance, he's probably not going to lose it if he's not pressured. You almost don't need to watch him. You need to watch what passing lanes will open up and who's going to check in the half spaces, where the center mids are peeling off. I think that is a very, very good way to watch football and a way that you learn so much. Like I've listened to like videos on Pep Guardiola, and he's talking about how he watches football and he doesn't follow the ball as often. It's all about spacing and areas. So yeah, I think that is something that could really help improve your game.
100%.
All right. And is that it? I think it could be, Someone asked when I'm going to be back on the pitch, and yeah, we've answered that. Hopefully I'll be training with a few teams once I go over, and we'll see what happens. And yeah, this is the last question. Who is winning the National South this year?
Ooh, I think Sol would have a really good insight to that. You obviously see bits and pieces on the internet, but obviously, I suppose maybe playing in it is completely different.
It's hard because I get asked this quite a lot, and like who I think is going to get relegated, who's going to be in like the playoffs and stuff. And it's really hard to answer. Firstly, because if I get it wrong, and another fan base sees me saying I think their team's going to go down, then I'm just setting myself up for a failure. But promotion, I think if anyone is above the two National League sides that have come down, I think they'll be the winners. Because Boreham Wood, the way they were playing was ridiculous. They bought on Johnny Goddard from Slough. He didn't even start. Bought him off the bench. He was unbelievable. They bought on Gus Mafutu, I want to say his name is, who was playing in the National League last year. Like he didn't even start. It's their squad depth's ridiculous, and it's the same with Dorking. And that game, Dorking versus Bournemouth, is going to be a very good one because they both want to play expansive, possession-based football. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. And Bournemouth's ground, their pitch is ridiculous. It's so nice. And it's obviously the ladies play, so the Arsenal groundsmen look after it. So you can imagine the nick it's in.
Watching the highlights of that, so it looked like a top 23s game. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you had the Arsenal badge there. Like, you could tell it wasn't because there weren't like a ton of fans there. There were definitely fans, but it wasn't like Torquay's match, for instance. But yeah, that pitch was immaculate. Something you just don't see in the National South.
Bro, and it's mental. I think they might struggle when they go away to places at Christmas, like Chippenham and stuff, that the pitch is not going to be anywhere near as good as that. No offense to Chippenham fans. But what's so weird is like even in the dugout, you have the big bucket seats, and each one either has, every other one has Arsenal and then Boreham Wood. So it shows you like how much Arsenal play there, that they've got their own seats at the ground.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, I would say so. Whoever I sign for will win the league, and then Bath City to come second.
well, you might sign with Bath City. You never know.
Then Bath City's doing the first and second. I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll do it. No, I did. To be fair, I'm probably not one to speak on it. Just not having. I mean, I've been watching I've probably watched 80% of the highlights from the matches, but it's so early to tell, and obviously, I still don't have the best knowledge of players in the National League who have come down. So yeah, I think those two National League sides will be really good. I think Maidstone will have a good season. Torquay will have a good season. I think it'll be a harder league to. Yeovil ran away with it last year, But I would say this year it could probably be a harder league to go up from, for sure.
100%.
Eastbourne have pumped a bunch of money in. They look really good. At least in preseason, did they look good? They have a good side. At least.
They've got like such a strong side. They just signed Dom as well this week, Dom Wadesanya. So they're gonna have.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he just signed this week, so they're gonna have a top side, a top side. Honestly, it's so competitive.
Was he a free agent or because he went up with Braintree?
He mutually agreed to leave Braintree. I think he just didn't want to be, because I saw actually he was at the Maidstone game against St Albans, because obviously he's best friends with Temi Owekwa. So he was actually at the Maidstone game, and I thought maybe he could be going back to Maidstone. But Eastbourne is.
There we go.
That's a very good signing for them. He was really good for Braintree in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. He's a top player, top player. Right, I think that's probably a perfect place to wrap this up.
There we go, boys. Do you want to outro it, Sol? Or?
I'm happy to. Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that we've managed to answer your questions. And thank you to everyone who has sent them in. If your question wasn't answered, then don't worry. We'll definitely be able to answer it in the future. Send us in some ideas, some other questions, because we always have little areas in the pod that we can definitely chuck a few things in. So if someone's definitely burning on your mind, then be sure to let us know. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.